Respectfully Disagree podcast. Happy Halloween. Good afternoon, ghouls and goblins. We'll make it short and sweet, man. Whew. Where do we begin? Today's topic is the NBA dying. I saw some numbers from opening week, and it ain't looking good in terms of viewership, people tuning in to opening night, marquee matchups. The numbers are down. So that's what I want to talk about because basketball is one of my favorite sports. I ain't gonna say one of, it is that is my favorite sport. And it's just sad to see, but we're gonna dive into it. But like I said, before we get started, man, happy Halloween. Oh, take his mask off. It's hot under there. Take his mask off. It's hot. Um, it's raining here in Kentucky, man. All rainy and gloomy. So I don't even know if kids are gonna be able to trick or treat or not, man. But if you all want your kids to pull up and get some licorice, some bruised apples, send them my way. Cause inflation is real, and the price of candy right now is ignorant, man. But before we get started, man, shout out to Mario with My Therapist Made Me Do This podcast. I was checking out his latest episode this morning, and it actually inspired me, man. You put me in a good mood today, man. So shout out to you, bro. I think it's dope to hear people talk about, positive things and when it comes to mental health and stuff like that, just putting out positive vibes and good energy into the air. And that's a dope podcast, very uplifting. Uh dope stuff, great conversation. And like I said, man, you kind of inspired me to turn the mic on today. So y'all be sure to go check out My Therapist Made Me Do This podcast. Shout out to Clyde with the Sick Anvil show with the Indianapolis Colts. I think that's where I'm going to start because I was trying to pick his brain in terms of how he's feeling in regards to the Indianapolis Colts and everything that's going on. And I don't know if it's because on my page I've been making statuses and stuff for the last couple of weeks about put Flacco in the game or whatnot, as to if that's the reason why the algorithms are constantly showing me stuff about the Indianapolis Colts and different I guess local Facebook pages and things where people are reacting to Richardson losing his starting position. So I know he has a podcast dedicated strictly to the Indianapolis Colts. So I wasn't trying to steal their thunder or anything like that. So most definitely, I'm not finna do no lengthy conversation about the Colts. That's not even my team. But I do find it strange how all of it is being handled, because the last time I checked in terms of sports, especially professional sports, um, everything is based on your performance, and it should be about winning. And I think it's unfortunate for him that Flacco had the season that he had last year coming into Cleveland and taking that team to a level that even Deshaun Watson hasn't carried them. So I don't know if that's, the biggest downfall in this circumstance regarding Richardson and the Colts is because it's like you got this hype train with Joe Flacco and him putting up 300 yards basically every week. He's playing without a care in the world. So it's like, hey, according to the public, I'm old, I'm washed. It's almost my time to hang up the cleats. So he's playing carefree football, in my opinion. On top of that, I feel like it's exciting. He's spreading the ball around. As a football fan, who wouldn't want that? So it's unfortunate that for Richardson, that's who they have as the backup. And, right on cue, he had an injury. Flacco comes in, and boom, he's slinging the ball all over the field. So now Richardson is most definitely on the hot seat. So I think the thing that stands out to me the most is like in any other circumstance, if your quarterback is not producing, then most people would be calling for him to be benched because I thought the ultimate goal was to win games. So that's why I'm like, this situation is very strange because to me, as a quarterback, he's underperforming in a league where pretty much the rules are in place to protect the quarterback. You can't even breathe on him without being penalized. It should work in his favor in terms of delivering the ball. But yet, I feel like because of the inexperience, he's still young. He relies heavily on his legs to make and create plays. And that's only going to get you so far, in my opinion. So, is he a phenomenal talent? Absolutely. You can see, little peaks here and there, you know what I'm saying? You can see that the kid has talent and he's got a big arm. So once he gets some more time under his belt and he's able to, improve on his accuracy, then the Colts have the quarterback of the future for their franchise. But in this particular moment, it's like, okay, it's not there. I know the other week I'm sitting here watching the game, of course, for fantasy football purposes. And I'm like, dog, it's the third or fourth quarter, and dude only got like 60 yards passing, bro. Like, that's not winning football. So you look at that division, and it's like Houston was going to be the favorites regardless. But now Nico's out. He might be coming back here in the next couple of weeks. Diggs has a torn ACL. So now Houston is wounded. To me, it's like, okay, Houston is what, 6-2, I think. So there's a window of opportunity here if I'm running the team. And then, of course, Tennessee's not in that picture. And Jacksonville is going to take a miracle for them to, you know what I'm saying, they're going to have to run off at least 4 or 5 straight just to enter the conversation. So the division is up to Houston and the Colts. And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, okay, yes, you have a young quarterback, but you got a guy who may possibly turn this season around. We're not talking about next year. We're not talking about later on down the road. We're talking about winning football games right now. Who would oppose to that? So I'm like, bruh, how can the fan base be so divided? There's a large number of people that are very upset with that young man being benched. But then you got a section of fans that's like, hey, we trying to win games. So now you seeing fans going back and forth in regards to I'm ride or die Colts. I've been here for this long and that long, and you're not a real fan if you're trying to tear this young man down. I was like, dang, like they going through the blues, man. And of course, Peyton Manning's not walking through that door. Nobody should even be comparing the two. To me, that's apples and oranges. Yes, Peyton Manning, in terms of his rookie season, I believe he led the league or led rookies or whatever in interceptions and things like that. But when it comes down to his knowledge of the game, that was never an issue. And I feel like with Richardson, it's just like right now, the talent outweighs the knowledge of the game. Just being able to dissect plays and make things happen, make the right reads. You can tell that he's not comfortable with that aspect of it. So he's learning on the fly. But that's why I wanted to reach out to Clyde this morning, because I'm like, bro, like what is really going on? And I've been seeing him go live. I've been seeing their Facebook page, making different posts and things like that. So y'all be sure to go check them out. But I was just like, dang, like, like is the goal not to win? Like nobody's saying, you know what I'm saying, cut ties with the kid. That's not my perspective. But I'm like, bro, the division is wide open. And Jonathan Taylor is finna slowly be back to 100%, hopefully. And it's like, it's now or never, bro. Who in their right mind is not trying to win games, bro? I understand that's your future or whatever, but if he ain't getting the job done, he got to go sit down. And who's to say that Flacco is going to turn the season around? Hell, Flacco may come out there and stink it up, but it's like, I think he's got a better shot at winning than Richardson at this current moment in time. I would love to hear different people's thoughts and perspectives. I know it's early in the afternoon. Some people are still at work. Shout out to those that's tapped into the Instagram live. Um, that's just something that I wanted to discuss. And like I said, as a Philadelphia fan, I don't have too much room to talk because Jalen Hurts, he irks my nerves so much. And sometimes I feel like the franchise, they don't trust him to throw and deliver the ball, especially when A.J. Brown is not there. And it's just like, is that what you get nowadays in terms of your black quarterback? Not trying to make it a race issue, but I'm just being, realistic here. It's like Lamar Jackson has set the bar in terms of quarterbacks that can make exciting plays with their legs, and given the opportunity, he can make the right throws if they're open. I've criticized and critiqued Lamar a lot in terms of his accuracy and things like that. So now you follow that up with Richardson, or you look in Washington, the spectacular job that Daniels is doing out there. So it's like, are people expecting Richardson to be what Daniels is in Washington? And it's a tough situation for him. And like I was trying to explain to Clyde, I was like, I hope this is not a situation where now his confidence is destroyed, or you got a guy who doesn't believe that this franchise is for him. So now he's no longer going to work hard or come to work with the best attitude. And it's like, look at Justin Fields. It's like before Russell Wilson played these last two games, everybody was like, Tomlin is crazy as hell for benching him for Russell Wilson. I was one of them. But it's like, hey, Russell Wilson's getting the job done, and he's making key throws, getting the ball down the field and things like that. So it's one of them things where it's like, okay, Justin Fields could very easily be sitting on the sideline pouting, complaining, but he's showing up to work from what we can see, and he's maintaining a positive attitude about it all. So I think in terms of Richardson, bro, it's like, keep your head up, dog, but we trying to win games, man. Like, it ain't no love lost. And guess what? If Flacco starts stinking up the joint, come on back in. But anywho, enough of that. Next thing. Your boy turned 40 last week, man. Shout out to everybody that took the time out of their day to wish me a happy birthday. It's a lot of us that was born in October, so everybody done hit that milestone of turning 40, and I really ain't had time to just sit back and reflect on it, because I'm torn between realizing that we are the uncles now and me still feeling like that young dude that's fresh out of college, moving and doing different things however I want to do. It's like, dog, it's just weird now. I'm in that funky space, and you see all these different things online where it's like, how old is too old to be wearing J's and stuff like that. And it's like, damn, am I supposed to be in the walking around with damn Doc Martens and all that now? Nice button down shirts. It's like I ain't ready to enter that phase of my life yet. But 40's been good to me thus far. So again, kudos to everybody that wished me a happy birthday, shot me a message or whatever. Definitely appreciate it. We spent the day on the golf course, man. We was out there for a charity event with Inside the Lines. So shout out to Hulk and his nonprofit organization, man. We had a great time out there. First time participating in a scramble, and man, it's so crazy how things work because unfortunately my wife tore her MCL. So we had a team. It was gonna be me, my wife. Shout out to Eric and Avery, and she went down with a torn MCL. That's a long story, but we've been sitting here practicing this stuff for weeks, and we couldn't figure out who our replacement was gonna be. And it shows you how God works because literally the night before the scramble, my boy Jay reached out and it was like, man, I got me some clubs. When y'all trying to go out here and play? And I'm like, shh, look at God. So I'm like, hey, we trying to play tomorrow, man. Pull up. We got this scramble. And he's like, man, guess what? I'm off work. So we all linked up. And when I tell you, man, we had the best time, bro. Who in the world thought that drinking bourbon at 9 o'clock in the morning would have been the highlight of my day? And at first, I was just nervous because it's like, okay, it's a lot of people out here that's participating. I've never done a scramble before. We've only played just for recreational. Of course, I'm still learning. Balls spraying all over the place, so I wasn't in a position to where I'm mentally ready to go out here and compete. So I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. Now you got people watching, camera crews and stuff like this is a real event. And you looking around and everybody's dressed apart. Everybody got their golf gear on. They got good clubs. I'm sitting over here with these top flight $150 clubs, man. But like I told people, I'm like, man, I can't invest in no expensive set of clubs if I don't know how to utilize them and use them the right way. So what I need top notch, top shelf golf clubs for. But then you see all these people pulling up and they got the nice bags and this and that. And I'm just like, bro, we really sitting there looking like some dudes that ain't got no business being out here on this course. But shout out to Jay who pulled up with the essentials, man. He had the bourbon on deck. So by the time we got about through the third or fourth hole, man, I was feeling good. It was like it was just us four out there. And I swear, man, we had the best time ever, man. I ain't laughed that hard in a long time. So I was able to bring in 40 with some good peoples, man. My wife was there with me, man. We was there participating in a charity event. So things worked out for the best, man. So shout out to everybody again for helping your boy bring in 40. So here we go. Is the NBA dying? Uh, Sadly, as bad as I want to push the I respectfully disagree button, I honestly don't think that I can. Because for somebody that's been in love with this game on the NBA level since probably about 95, 96, the league is completely different, man. And I think the NBA has lost its star power. And the fact that we're 22 seasons into LeBron's career, KD and Steph has been there for quite some time, and literally they are still the face of the league. Curry's hurt right now. KD's, I don't even know if you say Phoenix is his team. You know what I'm saying? Like him and Booker just, I don't know, it's 50-50. I don't even want to say Batman and Robin because that's giving Booker too much credit. I feel like KD is still the man per se, but it's just like, okay, Booker's younger, fresh legs, almost a Shaq Kobe type thing. Not literally in that sense in terms of dominance or whatever, but literally in like both players are capable of putting up 30 at any given moment. So you have a strong 1-2 punch, and by the time the Lakers were going for the three-peat, you really didn't know whose team it was. I mean, of course, you know, Shaq was still Shaq, but it's like, okay, you got this young Kobe Bryant that's coming in and he's putting his foot down and he's making a mark in terms of who he is as a player. And I feel like Booker has hit that stage in his career. You know what I'm saying? Like he played well in the Olympics, um, career high 70. You know, it's been a few years ago, but it's like Booker is a household name. Got his own signature shoe and stuff like that. So in terms of the Phoenix Suns, KD is still the bigger star. He's more marketable than Booker, but it's like you still lean on Kevin Durant's face to sell tickets. So Steph is hurt. Phoenix is, you know what I'm saying, kind of, do people really want to tune in to watch the Phoenix Suns play? And then, of course, everybody's putting all their eggs in the basket on the Lakers. Like, you can't look up without seeing LeBron James' face. And as much as people may not agree with me or you dislike the man, to me, I still feel like he's the face of the league. You had this strong push for Anthony Edwards, and I think them losing Cat is going to be huge because based on how they're currently playing, man, Ant-Man is going to get worn down by the end of the year. He's having to put on heroic performances in the first 5 games just for them to stay in it. And I don't know if they have a legit number 2 option yet. Randall is up and down. DiVincenzo, he don't look too comfortable. So it's like you look around the league and it's like, damn, we really relying on this LeBron and Bronny headline to push and carry the league. I think it was dope last night watching Bronny get a standing ovation or people chanting and screaming for him to come in the game. And to me, that speaks volumes because the internet will have you believe that this kid is terrible. He doesn't deserve a chance. He's robbing somebody else of the opportunity. But for those that really follow basketball and follow the league, it's a business at the end of the day. The goal is to sell tickets and fill seats, have people sitting down watching the games. So I think it's perfect to center this topic around is the NBA dying because you see that they're going to the extreme measures to try to get views and try to get people to buy tickets. So I think it was dope that Cleveland showed Bronny that amount of love last night and him getting his shot, you know, first points of his career. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a dope feeling. Had to be a dope feeling as a father. And my question is, what other headline could they run? Ja Morant still trying to get back to 100%. Memphis really ain't got that good of a roster, in my opinion. Denver is not starting off strong. Boston, the defending champs, hell of an opening night game. But it's like, does Boston really play an exciting brand of basketball? And I think that's part of the reason why the league is dying too, because now you got teams shooting 40, 50, maybe even 63s a night, bro. And I can't imagine paying that type of money just to see a team chunk up threes. And my wife, she's a Boston Celtics fan, and as bad as we was trying to get to opening night, man, them prices, that's crazy. And we're not even talking flight, hotel, food. This is just to walk in the door, man. You talking about almost $1,000 just to walk in the building. And from a historic standpoint, I think they what laid up. That was banner 18. From a historic standpoint, you know what I'm saying? It'd have been a dope feeling to be in the building watching that. But on the flip side, it's like, is it really worth it? So as a fan, it's like, bro, like you're pricing out your customers on top of the fact that it's not an exciting brand of basketball. So circle back to the original question, is the league dying? They got to figure this out, bro, because I feel like they're on their last leg. And I understand from a business aspect, you're trying to make the league worldwide. You're trying to, um, have a wide variety of athletes that represents the entire world. But a lot of these guys, their game is not translating into NBA basketball. Like, I have no idea what any of the lottery picks from this previous draft are currently doing. Um, I don't even know if Dillingham has even got in the game. Shepard, he's gotten in, but he's not making an impact the way you would hope. Um, the number one pick, the number two pick, like you have no idea. So this has become a pattern, in my opinion, with these rookie classes. That's like after the first 2 or 3 years, you have no idea if they're even still in the league. And I feel like that's what's damaging the brand as a whole. We've watered down basketball here in the United States to the point to where we're paying kids in college, damn near high school, basically, and their games are not even developed to go in and compete with the professionals on day one. The athleticism is not there to go compete day one. So we hang our hats on that 96 class, the 2003 class, of course, 84 with Jordan M. But it's like, when was the last memorable draft class in the last 10 to 15 years? Like, the star power is gone. You thought you had that with John Wall and them. They had a solid class. John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and this and that. But guess what? All of those guys are almost out of the league, if not already out. Um, Cat came in with Booker. Um, Towns is a fringe superstar. I think Julius Randle was the year before them or 2 years before them. Fringe, superstar, all-star caliber player. Um, Fox. And I'm just naming guys from Kentucky that just, to us, they were superstar players and they had the potential to be legit all-stars in the league, but for whatever reason, they have not turned that corner. Bam's name is up there, but when LeBron, Steph, KD, and them retire, is that a strong enough name to push and carry the rest of the league? And in my opinion, it's not. So you just keep going down the list and you're just like, who's the next marketable face? Hell, the Boston Celtics won the championship, and we seen how they done Tatum and Brown this summer. No disrespect to them, but From a public perspective, Tatum and Brown are not going to get the love that they deserve from the rest of the world to continue to carry and push the league. So who's going to be the face? And eventually, if Ant-Man doesn't equate his individual success to winning, what do you do? If I'm the commissioner and I'm trying to grow the game and make sure people are tuning in because the numbers continue to trend downward, nobody's watching. All you're seeing is just a bunch of threes going up, hardly any defense being played. Players are injured. Bronny gonna be. Shout out to Jay on the live, man. You right on time, bro. I'm just saying, like, all jokes aside, bro, like Boston is a legit team. They play a great, unselfish brand of basketball, but who's really gonna sit down and watch them chunk up a bunch of threes every night? Like, at the end of the day, the NBA is still a business. And for the amount of money that they're asking people to pay to come and watch or to sit at home and sacrifice family time with loved ones to watch their product, hell, even the Christmas games don't hit the way that they used to anymore. Celtics are one injury away from being a only playoff. What? Come on, man. You know y'all loaded, bro. Yeah, y'all got Porzingis sitting over in the ice chamber, slow cooking. Um, but all jokes aside, like for real, like nobody's even wanting to sit down and watch the games on Christmas. It's not marketable. It's not a marketable product. No disrespect to Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs, but it's like, bro, thus far, to me, he ain't turning that corner either. It's like the way he played for France in the Olympics, you just knew that he was gonna come and he was gonna take the league over. And granted, it's still early, man. They only 5 games in or whatnot, but it's like the numbers are showing that people are not watching. So you needed big performances from big players to start the season off. KP is the only one who can get injured. If JT or Brown or White or Drew gets injured, it's over. They all need each other. You know what? That's the first statement. That's the first statement. I ain't gonna push the button on you. Um, I think if one of them gets hurt, Boston wouldn't fall out of the top 3 in the East. They don't have that one player to carry them the whole time. And based on how they play ball, I don't think they need that. If you look at Milwaukee right now, who to me, Doc Rivers is getting ready to get. How does this man keep getting jobs, bro? I don't understand it, man. And they got uh dang. Darvin Ham over there too, bro. I hate looking at them. I feel bad for him, bro. I really do. Um, so it's like Milwaukee's not performing the way people expected. To me, I feel like Dame and Giannis just don't gel. They don't fit together. And we already know with Philly, Embiid and Paul George, like Philly's digging a hole right now that I don't know if they don't come back soon, they're going to be able to get out of. So it's like, as a paying fan, Philly ain't going to be able to sell tickets. As somebody that's sitting at home watching and consuming basketball, nobody's going to tune in to no Philadelphia game. So Milwaukee's not in that picture. Philly's not in that picture. So if one of them get hurt, where is Boston going to drop to? Did you ever trust the process? Be honest. Nah. Because he stays hurt. he stays hurt. You see glimpse of him being a dominant player, but I just feel like his style of play is what's going to get him hurt. And I feel like Joel Embiid is very stubborn. It's like, okay, if you have a history of leg and foot injuries dating all the way back to Kansas, then why are you catching the ball all the way at the 3-point line trying to drive? Why are you constantly trying to hit turnaround jumpers and things like that? That's a lot of pressure and stuff on your lower limbs for those that really understand basketball and you know what it takes to make those shots, especially in those key situations and you got solid defenders and stuff on you, man. That's overexerting yourself just to try to win a game. Because at one point, man, Embiid was the team. You're constantly force feeding him, and he's putting up 30 a night. So guess what? By the time the playoffs get here, his body is worn down, and based on his history, he can't stay healthy. So now they're trying to manage his minutes, and I think it was stupid of them to announce that he wasn't going to play back to backs, because now that's another factor that plays into the fans being turned off. Why would I want to be a season ticket holder if he's not going to play back to backs? Why would I want to come and watch the game on a night where it's possible that he may not play? You think they're going to lower the prices on tickets? Hell no. So what do? To me, Miami, fool's gold. Everybody called me crazy, bro. Jimmy Butler's not like that. Whatever AD is doing, Embiid needs to follow. Hey, ever since AD started wearing LeBrons, bro, he's been healthy. Y'all think I'm joking. I'm being dead ass serious. As soon as he took them Kobe's off, AD done played 70 games. He should have just said he'll only play home games. Like, they shouldn't have said anything, bro. Like, to me, I think Philadelphia dropped the ball. They dropped the ball announcing that he was not going to play back-to-backs. Like, that's a complete turnoff. So, again, for anybody that's trying to market a league and sell a league, that's bad for business. Because if you saw the headlines in the news, bro, it's like that's all people were talking about. If you look at podcasts, KG and them, like everybody was going off about them saying, well, damn, we had to play all 82. Quit comparing me to these young cats, because regardless of whether we was hurt or not, we played all 82. So the players are making more money than ever, not even playing 2/3 of the games. As a fan, you're charging me more to come in and watch. Cable prices and stuff is going. It's like, bro, it's not worth it. And I feel like the NBA got to figure this out soon, or they're gonna have a bad problem on their hands. Like I was saying, go down the list. Miami. Nobody's concerned about Miami. Orlando's up and coming. But are you really gonna sit down and watch an Orlando Magic game? Let's be honest. Cleveland is 5-0. They smacked the hell out of the Lakers last night. But is Donovan Mitchell gonna fill seats? Again, I'm not trying to disrespect any of the players. I'm just looking at this from a marketing standpoint and trying to sell the entire league. NBA, brother, hope Webb stays healthy. Who else is in the East? Chicago. No disrespect to Chicago, but it's like nobody's watching that. LaMelo Ball has some form of star power, but I don't know if it's enough to make people sit down and watch. Washington, hell no. The Knicks, I think the Knicks, like, to me, thus far, that was a bad trade. It's still early, got to build some chemistry and things like that. But in terms of identity, like, I don't know, man. They just don't fit. Who else is in the East? Brooklyn. Nobody's watching Brooklyn, bro. The Pacers, they hit or miss right now. Halliburton is man, bro. Don't get me started on Halliburton. Um, who else? That might be the entire Eastern Conference. So outside of Boston, for real, right now, like who would you pay to go watch? You move over to the West. The Kings got some figuring, they got to figure some things out. Um, the Lakers, up until the last two games, I was actually excited watching the Lakers. Man, they were playing a good brand of basketball. I think JJ has been doing a phenomenal job. Um, they're actually running plays, running sets. The ball is moving, backdoor cuts. They just need to knock down wide open shots. But in terms of rotations, ball movement, actual basketball, shout out to JJ Redick. Um, Golden State. Golden State is a fiery team, fiery, but without Steph, bro, nobody's watching that. Who else? We already talked about Phoenix. Oklahoma's up and coming, but again, I don't view them as a team that people are dying to come and watch. Um, San Antonio, nope. Houston, they up and coming, but y'all see them games when they do show clips and highlights. Man, that whole bottom row in Houston is empty. Whole bottom bowl of the arena is empty, bro. So no, nobody's paying that money. Um, Utah, no. Dallas is exciting to watch. They got a lot of star power. They got what they need to sell tickets and fill seats. Luka, Kyrie, Clay, um, Jason Kidd as the coach. So you can sell Dallas to the rest of the world. People will sit down and watch Dallas play, especially if they're matching up with uh, Minnesota or the Lakers or Boston. You'll sell that game. I forgot about the Hawks. Not watching the Atlanta Hawks. Um, who am I missing, bro? That's what I'm saying. It's like the league is in a bad spot right now, man. It's in a bad spot, and I hate that. Just as a lover of basketball, um, I just remember being a young teen, and you couldn't wait to sit down and watch Kobe, Iverson. Jordan was still, three-peating at the time, late 90s. So, the Bulls was going to be the hottest ticket. But you wanted to see the young stars succeed. And you got behind them. You got behind Ray Allen and stuff like that. Marcus Camby. Or even the year before that, Stoudemire, Damon Stoudemire. Um, Steve Francis and them came in and left a mark. Vince Carter's, T Max. Like, they were marketable. They had a fan base. Each individual had a fan base. They could market and sell products. And it's like, who out of this rookie class is marketable? Let's be honest. The 55th pick is getting the majority of the coverage and the majority of the headlines. And we all know why that is. But guess what? It's a business, like I said earlier. Like, they got to sell it somehow. So if your lottery picks are not marketable, nobody's caring, nobody's wanting to come and watch them play, then we got to go all the way down the list to Bronny, bro. The fans is shouting and chanting for Bronny to come in the game. That's insane. So when KD, Bron, and Steph retire, the league is in trouble. You don't even have a foreign face to sell tickets, I don't think. I don't think Giannis is marketable like that to where you can put the whole league on his back. Luca, Joker, Jamal Murray, like, nah. So to answer the original question, I do think the league is dying slowly but surely, and it's only because of the brand of basketball. It's not entertaining to watch. There's no core principles in terms of understanding and using fundamentals for the game anymore. There's no plays being ran. None of that. It's too individual based. And unfortunately, you don't have the individuals that can feel the crowd. What is this? Notification. Tariq Hill questionable. Look, man, don't y'all start that, bro. Don't y'all start that. And real quick, going back to the Colts, bro. Even Tua had a solid game last week, and he's coming off of one of the most nastiest concussions that one man could possibly ever have. And y'all arguing about Richardson, bro. Like, nah, that's crazy. But anyways, get ready to wrap this up. I appreciate those that have tapped into the live. Um, appreciate everybody that's been rocking with the channel, man. I'm finna get back to it. Like I said, I mentally, emotionally, I was just in a funk. And I appreciate those that have reached out to me and, asked me, is everything cool? Everything all right? Um, I'm in a better space. And basketball season has started here locally, so I've been back, going to different games and stuff. Aubrey had her first game this week. Her first game was Monday. So to see her turn that corner has been very, very refreshing, and that kind of helped light that spark and bring that passion and that drive back, because went through that whole situation where I did that episode where I was just like, my child didn't have no confidence, man. I know she can play. I know she's talented. I see it. I've never been one to overhype my kids or make them better than what they really are. I'm gonna be honest when I critique and talk about my kids. It's like when we're alone, I see them do things that I wish that they would go out on the court and do. And I felt like me volunteering to coach these last 4 or 5 years robbed them of me having the opportunity of instilling some of that in them. They didn't really have anybody that's going to work with them on a one-on-one basis. It's like, okay, you're asking basketball coaches to do a whole lot with each kid with a 2-hour window. That's unfair to the coach. Like, he or she cannot be hands-on with every single kid on the team. And speaking from experience, it's like you try to find ways to uplift and help each individual child, but it's just not enough time in the day. So I'm saying to myself, here I am trying to build and uplift other people's kids and instill the things that I wish somebody was doing for my kids, and it was not happening. So I had looked forward to utilizing my time helping them. And then boom, it's like, okay, here I am. I'm being asked to jump into a middle school position. I was very, very hesitant at the time, but I caved in. I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna go ahead and go through with it. And I kept trying to find reasons to step out of it or whatnot. And like I said earlier, my wife tore her MCL. So guess what? I'm having to take the kids to practice, pick them up, do all these different things. And I'm like, everything happens for a reason, and you're never supposed to question God. And shout out to Mario, because I heard him say on his episode earlier today, it was like, you don't want to block your blessings. Sometimes people block their blessings. And originally I was viewing it that way because I was like, am I closing the door that was trying to open for me for something further down the road? But I just had this weird feeling about it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, something about it, the timing is just off. And the way everything transpired, I was like, you know what? To me, that's a sign that that position was not for me. And sure enough, Aubrey is now coming to me, Dad, when we going to the Y? Dad, when we going to do this? When we going to do that? So I'm saying to myself, I have all the free time in the world to sit down and talk with my kids, help guide them and put them in positions to succeed, hopefully, without any interference of me saying, oh, I got to go to practice today. I can't work with you one on one because I got practice today. Or here's the weekend. We got games today, so I don't have the availability to go outside and put shots up with you. I have all the free time in the world, and to hear my kids coming to me asking for advice or asking for me to take them to the gym and do this and that, it's the best feeling in the world. So that's part of the reason why I'm just like, I ain't upset. Everything happened for a reason. I wish all the kids over there at the middle school nothing but success. Hope they have a great season. But it was just like, you know what? It wasn't meant to be. So kudos to Aubrey. Um, she was the only seventh grader that tried out. Usually they have a sixth grade team, they have JV, and then they have eighth grade varsity. And I think Aubrey and maybe one other seventh grader tried out. So their JV team is all sixth grade, and they got Aubrey starting at the point guard. So it's like her developing the leadership traits to try to help calm the sixth graders down and stuff like that. And like I told her, I was like, guess what? Last year you was in that position. It was a whole new experience, and it's a faster pace, a more physical game. So now allow yourself to help them come along. But you also got to be a leader. So to see her going out there and putting up more shots and shooting and attempting threes and stuff like that is like, it's a work in progress, but I'm very excited. Like I was very, very, very proud of her the other night. And then last night she she made eighth grade varsity. So she's out there with them. And before you knew it, she was playing a lot of minutes. I think she literally played the most minutes out of all the people that's on varsity. And like I'm trying to explain to her, I was like, you have a great opportunity to not only get better from an individual standpoint, but for you to soak in all of this knowledge, build relationships with people, and possibly make a name for yourself at such an early age because of the fact that no seventh graders tried out. So now you're the only seventh grader on the JV team, which is technically supposed to be the seventh grade team transitioning to eighth grade varsity. But it's like, okay, now you're being thrown into the fire, asked to lead and help carry a team in a group full of sixth graders. So not only do you have the opportunity to stand out there, but now you're playing with the eighth graders. So if the eighth graders, you know what I'm saying, develop that trust in you, now they're swinging and passing the ball to you. So guess what? You have the opportunity to help lead the eighth grade group as well. So she has endless, endless possibilities with this if she chooses to pursue a basketball career. I do not want to force that on them. I'm trying to get them to develop that thirst and that passion. And it feels like she's slowly getting there because she looked so much more comfortable last night than she's looked in the last 2 or 3 years playing in elementary and things like that. So to see her shooting, driving, getting angry, you know what I'm saying? It's like she's starting to figure it out. And not to toot my own kid's horn, it's like she's going to the free throw line and she's at least 60, 70%. So I'm like, you know what? Now if we can just extend that out to the 3-point line and she gets a consistent jump shot and stuff like that, the sky's the limit. And then my son, his first game is Saturday. So I'm eager to see how he turns the corner, his fifth grade year. So just as a father, it's like, dude, I have all the free time to be with my kids and help them develop and grow. So it's no love lost. that I'm not coaching this year. I was a little disappointed because I was just like, you know what I'm saying? This brings me joy. I'm connected to my passion. You know what I'm saying? I've always loved basketball, so I'm trying to be involved with it in any shape, form, or fashion that I can be, just so I can be around the game. And I found the way. Not only that, they got me running the books for my daughter's team, so I'm still connected. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be surrounded by the game because now I do the books, so I have to be there for every game. I'm needed. You know what I'm saying? So I may not be coaching, but I still feel needed. And the fact that my kids are asking, wonderful feeling, man. So we right at about an hour. It was dope. Happy Halloween. Y'all be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we are out.
Ass toasted, no competition. Amnesia coasting. I feel so high, I feel so live. My body's in the twine. Amnesia coasting. I feel so live, and I know why. That I can't deny. Amnesia coasting. Goody, fine wine, fools, malt liquor. Wish me I'm high class.